Alright, welcome back to Building Dad Bod 2.0. Make 3 videos in one here today. They're all going to come out at separate times. Filmed the video on New Year's Day. I'm super excited about. My brother Ryan was down, the other half of Building Dad Bod 2.0. My older brother came over and my Ryan's buddy Phil came down and we did the men's health strength challenge. Minus the Turkish get-up, we substituted in overhead press. So they have some standards they set for what they say makes you strong. Whether it does or doesn't, we did the challenge. Got a new deadlift bar. So that's going to be part of my video today. We used the deadlift bar for the first time that day. I attempted a 401 pound deadlift. You have to watch the video to see if I hit it. Heaviest deadlift I've attempted in 20 years. Wasn't deadlifting heavy leading up to back surgery, and I haven't just started deadlifting basically 6 weeks ago. Finally got my mobility in check to start deadlifting again. So max at that time was 350, attempted 400 on New Year's Day. We'll see how that went. Attempted a max squat New Year's Day with my new squat bar. So next leg day, we're going to do a video on the new squat bar. I got Chris requesting a video on my mobility, what I've done to work my mobility after back surgery. So I get a video coming out on that I'm going to make today. And then I got Rodney asking me for a video on single leg box squats, and I'm going to also show some single leg RDLs. 2 great single leg movements that I think really benefited me. So let's get to work with some mobility. Okay, so the first thing I do is some banded mobility drills. So I just take a dip attachment, attach it to my squat rack, hook a heavy band around it, and then I'll show you what I do next. Alright, so once you get the band set up, I like to start with the band like a little bit high up off the floor on the side it's fixed to. Get it, my leg through up into my hip joint. And then from there, just rock forward, nice and slowly back. And you want to go back all the way. Get deep into that stretch here. So we're basically just doing some hip traction, mobilizing the hip joint. So I do about usually 10 to 15 reps. My legs straight behind me. Once I do my 10 to 15 reps that way, rotate my foot out, which is actually internal hip rotation. Do another 10 to 15 reps that way. Just all nice, slow and controlled. Once you get done your reps that way, flip around. Same movement, legs straight behind me. This time it's pulling sideways on my hip joint. Another 10 to 15 reps. And I take my foot, rotate my foot out again. Another 10 to 15 reps this way. Once that side's done, then I switch sides, repeat the process for a total of 3 sets, 10 to 15 reps, leg straight behind, leg out on an angle. All right, so that banded hip mobility is done now. Really helps to just open up the hips. Once that's done, this exercise looks super simple, but just feels good. Gets the hips moving, internal and external rotation. So do one at a time. Just sitting something high enough your feet are off the ground. Just swing your leg back and forth out of internal and external rotation. I do 20 reps per side. So I do 20 internal, 20 external. Once you've done this, you can switch to the other side. So it's nothing fancy, just made to get the hips moving. All right, so once I've done 2 sets of my internal, external rotations, 20 reps, 2 sets, move on to some nerve flossing. So what I do, start head down, legs back, pointed down. As I bring my legs up, I point my toes towards the ceiling and bring my head up, and then drop my head, point my toes down, legs back. So nerve flossing this way specifically for sciatic nerve. Helps to get the nerve moving in the nerve canals. Get a little bit of a hamstring stretch at the top when I bring my toes towards me as well. This, do 2 sets of 20. Okay, so next up, I like to take a 45-pound plate. My feet about shoulder width apart. Sit down into a squat. Put my elbows into my knees and just force my legs out. Sit in a nice low squat position. Torso upright. I like to hold this for about 30 seconds. So once my 30 seconds are up, plate down. Do that 2 more times. Now once I'm done that, get the muscles to loosen off. I'm either always doing this before deadlifting and squatting, so I just want to reactivate those muscles now before I were to get into something like a squat. Put a band around my knees. Lay on my side and just do some clamshells. Just 10 reps. I'll switch to the other side, do another 10 reps. All right, so same thing, done my 3 sets, stretching with the plate, and then I'll do 3 sets, activating my glutes, getting everything firing. All right, then I got a couple more exercises I'll do, get my core and my glutes firing before I either squat or deadlift. I'm going to show you one more that I usually do on upper body mobility day to get my thoracic spine moving. But it's also great. The reason I'll show you today is because it's a good one. The more mobility you have in your upper back, especially something like bench press, the less stress it puts on your lower back doing the arch on your bench press. So if you can't bend your thoracic spine, all the arch comes from your lower back. But when you can get your upper back into a nice big arch, takes a lot of stress off the lower back, which is a big thing for me. My lower back hates bench pressing. The more mobility I get, the easier it is on it. Okay, so I'll show you the psoas press first. This is the one I normally do on my upper body day. And then I'll show you the 2 quick drills I do just to activate my glutes and my core. So you take a barbell, get it in a front rack position, go down into a squat, and then just press the bar up overhead. Aim for about 8 to 10 reps there. you need to, you can sit on a low box bench. The lower the box or the bench is, the more mobility you need. Obviously, the higher it is, you don't really need to arch your upper back as much. Just want to get as low as possible. You see when I'm down into like a really deep squat, I come off my heels a little bit. Still got to keep working on that mobility that way. So now I'll show you a couple drills I do to activate my glutes and my core. So the first one's a simple drill. Just a single leg glute bridge. So right now, I'm not doing any weight. You do these weighted as like later on in the workout as an accessory, but the only thing I care about right now, just getting my glutes firing. Just up, down, nice and slow. Trying to keep your core tight. Push all with your glute on the side you're working. The reason I do this is obviously doing something like a deadlift. You need your glutes to be working, core to be working, so your lower back's not doing all the work. So I do 15 reps per side. Last activating exercise I do is a plank drill. So you see a lot of people doing planks, holding for an excessive amount of time. I'm not worried about that. I'm not working on my core endurance. All I want to do is get my core firing before I do deadlift. So I do a plank couple ways, and I just hold it for a few seconds in each spot. So start with a standard plank. Hold for 10 seconds. Hold my core nice and tight. Then I just go into a side plank. Roll. Side plank, other side. Back to the middle. And I just do this for 3 sets. There you go. Now I'm ready to get into my deadlift or my squat. So that's it. That's my mobility day for my lower body. Hope you find that helpful. Give it a try, Chris. Anyone else that struggles with hip mobility, tight lower back, should help get you moving, get you warmed up, get some working muscles that you're going to be working activated before you get into your main lift. All right, so last mobility drill. I don't do this one in my warm-ups leading up to deadlift. I do this after deadlift. Seated good mornings. Really strengthens the lower back, glutes, hamstrings, and also helps me get mobility in my hips, hip flexors. So here we go. It doesn't take a lot of weight, just doing 100 pounds here. You do it with a straight bar, safety squat bar, cambered bar. I like using a straight bar. Brace your core. And go down as low as you can. I like to have the bar in a nice low bar squat position so it's not going to roll onto my neck as I go down. See as I go, by the end I'm getting a lot lower than I was at the start. Try to be nice, slow and controlled. Just really, really intentional with every rep. So I love that exercise. Really good for helping me to get into position for squat and deadlift. Had back surgery a couple years back, got my 3 bottom vertebrae fused. 6 weeks ago, I just started deadlifting again. It took me a lot of mobility work to even be able to get down into a deadlift stance. And same thing with the front or with the back squat. Really hard time getting down into a full squat. So this exercise really helped along with all the other mobility drills. Hopefully some of them are helpful for you. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.